live. A little bit later than normal today. My washing machine won't empty, so I'm gonna have to take that apart and figure out what's going on. But I came up here on base to do my laundry and get it all done because it gets busy as the day goes on. So I was up here like 6:30 this morning up at the laundry getting my laundry done. But yeah, so it says we're live. I haven't seen anyone jump in here yet, but that's okay. It'll take time. It'll take time for people to come on in. Come on in. It's gonna rain here today, so I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna work on that washer, try to get that going. Whoa, there goes my laundry behind me. It's pretty well full, so it didn't do too bad. Going out. Why is it not? It says I'm streaming. Okay. I'm just not seeing. I'm not seeing. Okay, there we go. Now it shows it's streaming on YouTube. Over there, I got blue sky. Blue sky is coming at me. Uh, I need to watch Jeremy's live from last night. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll check that out. And I have a new case that I'm going to be updating on. It's a federal case. Oh, there's Georgie. Georgie, I was just talking about the case that I messaged you about. I just started talking about it. So it's a woman who I follow. I started following her on X, and now I'm also following her on Facebook. Sarah Fields is her name. She's a uh, what's it? She's a journalist. Hello from Santa Steve from Columbia, South Carolina. Well, welcome, Santa Steve. You're always welcome here. Um, and this is another federal case. Do you guys remember the case of Carmelo Anthony? He was the teenager who in Texas um, who stabbed the other competitor at the track and field. So Sarah, she covers a lot of different stories. She's a very good journalist, but very independent, much like how Megan Fox is. And I really do enjoy her stories. There's a couple journalists I will always tell people to follow: Laura Logan, Sarah Fields, Paul Sperry. Very, very trustworthy journalists. And Sarah's one of them. And she also works with a guy that I reached out and I had some conversations with a few months ago about, remember the guy that was arrested um, for his Facebook posts in Texas? They eventually dropped that case. Well, one of the guys involved with that, I've actually had some DMs and stuff with, and a very, very good guy. Well, Sarah's worked with him on this story, and she just was reporting just like how everyone else was about this Carmelo Anthony. Remember, he got like $1 million in GoFundMe, and the family started buying houses and cars and all that crazy stuff. Brian Enton is good too. I'll have to check him out. Andy Nago. Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with Andy. Andy's very good. Um, and yeah, so she was reporting on that case, and the family and people associated with the family started harassing her just for her journalistic reporting. And she was getting death threats. They were She had to hire security because she was having a baby, and she had to hire security because they were posting what what hospital she was in labor in. These people are crazy. So she eventually was building her own case to file. Brian is with News Nation. Okay. Um, yeah, she was building her own case to go after these people. Yeah, that's another Lynette and Clark. Absolutely, Hellhound. And they have filed a federal case just as crazy as Jeremy Hale's. Just as crazy. And it's just lie after lie after lie. But these people are like, they're doing dangerous threats. And they do, unlike John and Lynette, these are people with organization behind them. They've been supported by like groups like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. So, um, Georgie, I got to get you some money. I'd like you to get the some of the court documents. I would like to post them into a cloud. If Sarah, I've had some light conversations with Sarah. What I would like to do is start posting them into a cloud, all the court documents on that, um, and then I'll be covering it because this federal case that they put against her, it's wild. It is absolutely wild. Like it's just nothing but accusation after accusation after accusation with nothing behind it. Nothing behind it. I don't know if Texas is an anti-SLAPP state. A part of me doesn't think it is. Um, but I do know Sarah is doing her own lawsuit, and I believe she has filed her own lawsuit against them. Um, BLM is a domestic terrorist group, in your opinion? I wouldn't say domestic terrorist. I would say pretty shitty group. Um, and it's sad because there's other groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center who used to do really great work, where now all they do is defame people, and that's kind of what's happened with this whole thing with Sarah Fields. Um, but yeah, she's a very good journalist. I really do like her stuff, but she she's talked about these cases before, but now we actually have the filings. And so, yeah, Georgie, let me know how much it'll be to get the filings on that, and I can get you the money. And I'm just going to put them into a cloud somewhere so that everyone can look at them. And I get very frustrated that these public records cost so much. So I want people to be able to access them. And see, like I told people, and some of these people are acting like they didn't know. Federal cases take a long time. Jeremy Hale's case, I said back in, I think it was October, or maybe even August, I said, we're not going to see anything on either of these cases until April. And sure enough, we're not seeing anything on these cases probably until April. Uh, the bankruptcy and the two federal cases. Federal court moves very, very slow. And that's why I've been talking about Jeremy Hales. There's really nothing to talk about. There's all the dummies, like the fleas, posting crazy stuff, but I don't care about that. They can talk all their crazy stuff. For those who are watching to send Jeremy proof, totally get it. But some of these people are just watching just because they need the drama in their life. I don't need the drama. That's why I really don't care about what the fleas say. Um, Now, if they start doing anything, I'll probably care. Like her trying to act as a creditor in the case, that's something to talk about. And it's ridiculous. It's bullshit and it's ridiculous. But yeah, with this one, it's a federal case as well. Uh, it'll be interesting to see if her case gets brought in. She has, I believe hers is a defamation case, which is why I don't think there's anti-SLAPP in Texas. I'm not 100% on that though. I'm driving to my house. I had for those who weren't there here at the beginning, my washing machine wouldn't drain. So I had a little like flooding mishap at my house. So I might take it apart. I might just get a new one. I don't know. I bought it used 2 years ago. $100. I got my money's worth out of it. I might buy another one. I don't know. But I went to the laundromat on base, which, by the way, I have a video going out tomorrow that I recorded this morning. I met the nicest woman at the, um, she was at the laundromat. And it turns out she's homeless and she's a surviving spouse of a veteran. And she just a really nice woman. I'm gonna do everything I can to get her some help. So it was just very fortuitous that we met each other. What is this? Is that the water district? Sorry guys, there's a truck sitting out here. Dug something up. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. So yeah, she very nice woman and had her identity stolen. And like it has she can't get housing, she can't like she the only thing she has is her pension, which isn't it's not the most, and it gets deposited into a debit account, and that's pretty much all she's getting. So I want to help this woman out. She's the wife of a Marine who passed away many years ago, and I'm going to do what I can to help her. So that video will go out tomorrow, but I'm going to start a Give, Send, Go for those who would like to donate any money to her, just in case if there are any people who donate. Um, and I'm going to be reaching out to my to my congressman, because she does live in this district. We're going to try to see if we can get her some help that way. Uh, Sorry, I'm grabbing my laundry here. Hold on. But yeah, I want to help this woman out because she just was. I I brought my detergent, but I didn't have enough. And out of the goodness of her heart, she gave me some of her detergent. So I was like, hey, what can I do for you? And she was like, hey, just buy me a coffee. That was all she wanted, just a coffee. So I bought her a coffee. Um, and I said, let me interview you, and we'll see if we can get you an attorney to help you. Happy White History Month starts. Okay. Well, good luck with that. That's funny. Good luck with that. Don't. I know some of you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, get them out of here." Don't do that. Leave. Happy White History Month here. That's funny. Jokes are always allowed. Let me get inside the house here. Oh, I'm hearing these noises. You know what it is? We have a on that side of town. We've got a shooting range, and that's what it is. We're shooting over there. I was wondering what are these noises? But I can tell gunshots when I hear them. Hold on with me, guys. Just 1 second here. Get all my laundry here. I'm back. Ooh. Let me get the coffee going. I will hang up all my laundry later. I took my cough medicine this morning, but I got to take my vitamin C. I'm going to switch over to my computer. But Yeah, so Sarah's pulled out some videos. Let me get the coffee pot going, get the computer up and running. We'll switch over to that. But yeah, all these crazy people now turning to federal court for stuff. That's insane. It is just nuts. Got my skipper's hat. And I'll apologize to everyone who watched yesterday. In the middle of the stream, all of my comments stopped coming. So I see I'm not getting any new comments right now. I'm going to pull it up on Restream and in YouTube. So that way it's not letting you in. Yeah, it's frustrating. I don't know. I was trying to look earlier to see if maybe she had posted it on her stuff. We'll see. Let me pull up. I wanted to get the live going because it was a long time. I'm late. I'm late today. And Georgie, if you want to jump in, you have the link. You're more than welcome. The cat's sitting here with me. There we go with that. All right. So now you guys have two views. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Sorry about yesterday. I don't know why it stopped updating all of the chat, but it did. Now I'm gonna go get my coffee, and we'll really get the show going. I gotta get more sweetened though. I ran out. I'm using sugar. I know, bad for me. But I think I'm going to Costco. We'll see. Oh, the Huff's in here. Hey, Larry. Good to see you. Good to see you. Larry, you have the link too if you'd like to jump in. It's a later show than normal for me. And yeah, I was up early doing laundry because my washing machine broke on me. And that happens. Let me switch. There we go. Well, why did this switch? Okay, let's try that. There we go. Okay, no more echo. Sweet and low is flammable. Yes, it is. It's also better for me than sugar. My diet has had too much sugar in it, so I've been cutting out sugar, and a lot of it is from my coffee in the morning. I used to always use sugar, but now I'm using Sweet and Low or Splenda, which is just better for me. Julie B, welcome, welcome. I was in Julie's stream. I saw she was streaming yesterday, but I was driving. But the other day she was streaming, and I was able to send her a nice super sticker. Always good to support Julie. She does karaoke streams. I love watching her streams. She's out there in the Philippines. People in the Philippines are just so nice. They're just so nice. And the homeless woman I was interviewing today, she was born in the Philippines and she moved here to the U.S. and when she was 8 years old, and she graduated from Palm Springs High School.
But that is going to go out tomorrow. Yeah, I'll use either Splenda or Sweet and Low. It doesn't matter to me. Just as long as I'm not eating sugar, raw cane sugar. Yeah, that's the problem with me. Uh, my blood sugar causes my what is it? Not cholesterol, but it causes my other numbers to spike. So yeah, I don't I don't want to start the day off with a high blood sugar. So um, that's why I switched in my coffee. I switched to that, and yeah, uh, trying to get it'll go up over the day, which is fine by me. I'll deal with that, but yeah, I just don't want it to be spiked. You know. Oh, you're. I'd like to get the initial filing if I can, Georgie. Um, because they make some accusations against her that are in freaking sane. And I'd like to read it live if I can. If we can't, I can't at least today. But yeah, I don't want to get into. I have her videos, and we could hear it in her own words. But I would much rather, just go by what's in the filing. Because you know how that some people say things, and I don't want to be accused of, exaggerating on her behalf or anything like that. So that's that's my take on it. Um, is is that going to be expensive? If I sent you $20, will that cover those 36 documents, or is it going to be more than that? I'm okay sending more. I don't have a Pacer account, so I just don't know. You know what? And let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up her Facebook. Okay, so I'm following her. She does have a give send go up. um, has looked into a lot of different stuff. She did look into um, the whole Epstein thing in Zorro Ranch, and I'll tell you, a guy who I've been friends with on Twitter for a while, Fred from Brooklyn. He's Fred. I believe it's Fred Brooklyn OG at Fred Brooklyn OG. I've known this for a while. He is a Mason out of Brooklyn, and he used to work at Epstein's mansion. And I invited him on the show. He was scared for the longest time for him and his family. Didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to talk about the things that he saw. But finally, we got him into contact with a couple journalists, and I think he's going to talk with them. And he was talking the other day about the guy who was pretty much in charge at Epstein's house. Um, I'm not. It's Fred's story to tell, so I'm not going to tell you all the stuff that he's told me. But I will say, he did see young girls always around the house, and he did see famous people. I'm not going to name names. It's Fred's story to tell. But he did start to talk publicly about what he saw. Now he was just a worker at the house, would come in and do masonry work. So you're not going to get like in-depth stuff with him, but you will get some stuff, and just kind of know what life was like around Epstein's place. So that that that's out there. So if you want to check out Fred, he's on Twitter. I've been friends with Fred for a couple of years now, probably actually more like 7 years. Um, on Twitter, just followed him, had some funny interactions with him. and some of my other Twitter friends. Um, Never met face to face with him, but he is talking about it. So, these are stories that they just kind of get out there. And, Sarah has talked about Zorro Ranch. And for those of you who don't know, Zorro Ranch was Epstein's place in New Mexico. And that was bought by a guy named Don Huffines. And Sarah was talking about that publicly. So, and this is how all this stuff, like, I follow a lot of these journalists who are out there on the cutting edge finding out this stuff. Another journalist that I really have a lot of trust in is Catherine Herridge. Uh, she was one of the few people in CBS News who was like talking about what really was going on with different stuff. I'm going to share my screen here. I'll be here, but just because we're doing the long ways, is why I'm not going to let's pause. So this is Sarah's. This is from her Facebook page, and we'll watch this. This is one of the people who's been harassing. This is Carmelo Anthony supporters are attacking me and the Metcalfs harder than ever. As the murder trial date gets closer, they're attempting to sue me in federal court for calling Carmelo Anthony supporters dangerous and speaking their minds on numerous smear campaigns. Okay, so this is the one guy did a TikTok. I think he is an uncle of Carmelo Anthony, but I could be wrong on that. I have not been deep in this case, but this case is just starting. It is just starting. So here.
And your client niggerize me or criminalize me. As you have said to me, you could just fuck all the way off. Bitch. I got something in my nose. Wait a second. Let me see if I can find it. You know what? Ain't nothing in there like Bay Boy. This is what I got for you, CJ. Motherfucker.
That man is attempting to sue me in federal court. Let me update you guys. If you would like to read one of the most insane, unhinged, frivolous, psychotic lawsuits that you have likely ever seen in your life, go look this lawsuit up in Pacer. Over the last couple of months, I've been really quiet about the Carmelo Anthony case that I was the lead reporter on.
A little bit about it.
The case itself doesn't have much to update on other than the fact that court is on June 1st, and that's pretty much it. However, in the background, I have been documenting, saving information, screenshotting, keeping video footage, collecting information, and paying attention to all the key players.
Okay. So I'm not going to get too far into her thing here. Georgie, thank you so much. Georgie has sent me the documents. So we'll pull those up and go into them here, and then we're reading them for ourselves. Okay, that's the mailing. So this guy's name is Christopher King, I'm guessing, it looks like. So here, let me close that and I'll share. Okay. Okay, Christopher King suing CJ Grisham out of Temple, Texas. CJ, I've had some DMs with in another case that I have talked on this show. They're demanding $76,000. Okay, so that is what type of case are they? Citizen of another state, so I'm guessing that's Sarah. And an incorporated business. Okay. I'm trying to be careful. I'm trying not to put people's things up. So let me do this. Okay. And where is... Come on. There we go. Send it. Oh, this one's bigger. That's why it's taking longer. So yeah, I'll read this case because Sarah's a very good journalist. I would not want, like, she's good like Megan. I would not want to be on her bad side because she is very thorough. And she works completely independently. As soon as it came through, it's just not coming up yet. So it's just like the Jeremy Hales case. Just like it. And does any one of these want to come up? There we go. Okay. All right. I've got it now. Let's pull up the window. Does this let... Okay. Okay. Actually, can I do it? All right. Comes now Christopher King, JD, as plaintiff to posit this cause before the court in the interest of journalistic integrity and for damages caused by defendants' malicious misstatements of fact. Plaintiff resides in Washington, believes that defendants' actions defendants' actions complained of originated from defender's home county of Smith in this federal district. Plaintiff bases his belief on the fact that defendant has initiated other legal action from Smith County. Okay. Defendant Fields reside in Smith County. Defendant Does reside in locations unknown to plaintiff as of this writing. There's complete diversity between the parties. Damages exceed $76,000. Then the court has jurisdiction pursuant to 18 U.S. Code 1332. Hey, let the people in the chat say their crazy stuff. Let them look dumb. First branch, defamation. Now, if you guys have followed me, you should know defamation is incredibly hard to prove. Incredibly hard to prove. But this, at its base, apparently is a defamation case. So let's go into it. As noted by her own words, defendant Fields has an extremely large following. Defendant's actions, most particularly those of defendant Fields, in uttering repeated false and defamatory statements, have foreseeably caused plaintiff damage to his reputation and to his mental and emotional sanctity. Okay. So her following being extremely large doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As we noted with the What the Hell's case, if one person sees a defamatory thing or 1,000 people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. However, damages being to his reputation, mental, and emotional sanctity, that is on its face. Okay, we're not getting into the evidence here yet. We're not even past page. Well, we're on page 2. Okay. On its face, I'm going to tell you that looks extremely weak. And I would be saying this if it were her suing him. Is this all because of TikTok drama? Partially. They operate on TikTok, but it's really about the Carmelo Anthony murder case is what it all comes down to. Because Sarah was reporting on a lot of the facts of that case. And she actually has them posted here. Let me see if I can pull them up. Where did she post them here or on her? I think she posted them on X, but I'll read them off X, no problem, because she was putting statements of fact up here on X. So she says TB lied that Hunter had to go. So Hunter's the victim. It was the kid that was stabbed, had to go to an alternative school. TB is, I forget the woman's name offhand. It should be put in here, but she put TB lied that the twins were bullies. TB lied that, so Hunter, who was killed, was a twin. So she's saying that Sarah's reported that this woman is saying that the twins were bullies. TB lied and said the twins knew Carmelo Anthony before he stabbed Austin. So that, according to her, that's a lie. TB lied and said that Carmelo Anthony was bullied by the twins prior to April 2nd. So she was saying all this to justify Carmelo Anthony killing Hunter Austin. TB lied that Austin didn't pass in Hunter's arms. Oh wait, no. What? I'm getting the victims' names wrong, and I know I'm doing it. I'm sorry. TB lied that Hunter is responsible for Austin's death. TB lied that Austin slipped and fell on the knife. TB lied and said it was a cleat sharpener. TB lied and said it was a Boy Scout tool. TB lied and said it was because of Carmelo Anthony's penis at the pool party prior to the stabbing. TB lied and said she could see it was 2-on-1. TB lied and said so it was. They were posting all of these lies when the investigation was going on. And there's like 40 different lies that Sarah has reported on. And that's the reason for this lawsuit. They're saying all of those are defamation. And this Christopher King was being defamed. He was helping spread some of these things and was being defamed by Sarah. The actions complained of herein were committed with actual malice. Malice can be a difficult thing. Where did my thing go? It switched. There we go. Malice can be a difficult thing sometimes to prove, but it seems to always be easier than proving damages in a defamation case. The complaint herein were committed with actual malice told to millions of her followers and have foreseeably resulted in demonstrable injuries to plaintiffs, including but not limited to mental and emotional damage. I'm going to look up Sarah. Sarah does not have 1 million followers on X. She's got 411,000. So she's got a considerable following, about a little bit under 500,000. I do know she's got a TikTok. On Facebook, there's 31,000 followers. Plaintiff has told to millions of her followers and have foreseeably resulted in demonstrable injuries to plaintiff, including but not limited to mental and emotional damages, loss of reputation as a journalist, and more. Well, without any other damages, if you're just saying, well, mental and reputation, that is going to be very hard to prove. Very hard to prove those damages. Jeremy can prove real damages through his whatnot auctions and through his following going down. Those are tangible things that can be substantially verified and counted. Saying it's just to my reputation, that's a harder thing to prove. Sarah Fields, Daniel Sims, she's a journalist. Loss of a reputation as a journalist and more. So this guy, Christopher King, is saying he's a journalist, for which recompense shall be sought by and through a jury of appropriate size and composition. Sorry. Facts. Plaintiff has practiced print and video journalism for the past 4 decades. He graduated in 1989 communications with print journalism and rhetoric emphasis. I've never heard of rhetoric emphasis. Oh, I'm not saying it's doesn't exist, but it might. Don't know. I can't zoom on lives. Bull sugar honey iced tea. Okay. He edited the Cincinnati edition of Ohio Call and Post newspaper. I've never heard of that one. Was a daily reporter for the Indianapolis Star. I've heard of that. Prior to law school, where he focused on First Amendment and constitutional matters at Case Western Reserve, studying under William Marshall, who became White House First Amendment counsel. that really doesn't matter. Since that time, like that's pretty. You're putting other people's things into your like. Are are you just trying to build up fluff? Because what other people's resume is does not apply to this case. It doesn't matter that they were your teacher. Does not matter. I don't get why that's relevant. Since that time, he has run video of his own successful First Amendment jury trial cases in the 1990s. Okay, so he's a First Amendment lawyer now. Okay, he has produced hundreds of courtroom videos. Why did it's a new paragraph? Okay. Um, I'm sorry, the grammar's just throwing me off. He has produced hundreds of courtroom videos on matters including defamation, murder, knifing assault of Jason Vassell in Massachusetts, other civil rights issues. Again, does not matter. He has shot courtroom video in at least 5 states. Like, dude, this is not your sizzle reel. Like, seriously. I'm laughing about this. um, like we're not even a couple pages in and you're already giving us nonsense. I am going to share this with Sarah that I'm doing this. Okay, there we go. I probably should also retweet this. Hold on. Through because this is being broadcast by Patriot 911 News. So yeah, let me. There we go. To those watching me on X right now, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate it. And if you guys, if we're getting commercials, just remember if we get $6 in super stickers and super chats, I turn off the monetization. He shot courtroom video and was selected by the New England News Press Association as a featured speaker of journalistic standards on the internet in 2012. He has awards. So the awards I would have put in there. He has awards for First Amendment advocacy and worked with government officials to change restrictive speech covenants in Nashua, New Hampshire. I wonder if he knows New Hampshire Press Now. Both have had cases in Nashua. Right. Yeah, this is 37 pages. And it already we're in paragraph 6 and there's a lot of stuff that's like this does not matter. Like this is stuff that does not matter. Not once in 37 years has plaintiff ever issued a material restriction to anything he has ever published in text or in hundreds of videos at his YouTube page. Okay. Plaintiff has never been credibly accused of doxing anyone. Doesn't matter. Plaintiff King entered the fray on TikTok, a popular social media platform for political discussion. With days of opening his TikTok account and prior to any exchanges with defendants, plaintiff conspicuously noted on his profile, returning to practice in 2026. Again, does not matter. The ongoing murder trial involving Carmelo Anthony was the impetus for plaintiff joining the platform, as he frankly did not find the state's position to be plausible based on what he had been reading. Okay. So he has an opinion on it. I intend to make a cloud storage for people to access this. Unless if It's up to Georgie if she wants to make her Discord open to people. I'm okay with either. I will not be doing a Discord. I really, it's just not my thing. But if Georgie, we'll talk about it after this stream on how we want to do this. Defendant Fields resolutely believes that the state can do no wrong, and she and her friends, such as disgraced Collin County Clerk Melanie Stayer, hope that plaintiff, any people in his immediate circle, will quote unquote go to prison or be jailed. Okay. Believes that the state can do no wrong. That is that's very subjective. You're saying what she believes. Oh, there's Jem. Thank you so much, Jem, for the $10. And yeah, I will turn off here on YouTube. I will turn off monetization. Let me go here. Monetization is there. I put ads on manual, and I will not be doing them. So I'll still get credit for the views, but not for, you guys should not see any more ads if you're watching this on YouTube. So thank you, Jem. I do appreciate that. And saying that someone is a disgraced Collin County court clerk, you better have facts, because that would be defamation. You, just as you're saying, so they're attacking your reputation. They could see. This is the thing: you have to have clean hands. You can't attack other people's reputation, and then when they attack yours, say, "Oh, they can't do that." Okay. Defendant has spent substantial time reviewing just about each and every post that plaintiff has made on TikTok. Well, they're public posts, dude. And undoubtedly seen plaintiff's profile page. The relevance of this fact will soon become apparent. Plaintiff has prevailed and settled 2 defamation cases as a plaintiff, one of which can only be discussed by way of subpoena with an attendant protective order. That doesn't matter for anything. It really doesn't matter. Each case is its own case, whether you can get access to it or not. I have premium, but I hate the commercials. Well, I appreciate that, Jem. And I hope everyone else appreciates you doing that for them. The other one is King versus American Tower Corporation, which, just like this case, he was falsely labeled as dangerous. I doubt that's actual defamation, and it does not apply. It is not relevant to this case, unless if you were showing that the people of American Tower Corporation were working in concert with Sarah. It just does not apply. It's hearsay. It's what do they call it? It's has no relevancy. It's irrelevant to this case. Plaintiff's appeal spans logical chasms. For example, he was keynote speaker at the Washington Tea Party conference and has worked with Tim Eyman, a known staunch MAGA Republican conservative person. No one cares. This has nothing to do with this case. Plaintiff, after his radio secured reluctant counsel for Joanne Mariova and Mariana of the Boston Herald, in which he ran courtroom video over the course of 5 years as she secured a $500,000 jury verdict. Does not matter. This guy's a lawyer, and he's putting all this stuff in here. I'm seeing a lot of the same things that we see from Luffman. Things that are just irrelevant and do not matter being put into the court record. And it's like, this is stupid and a waste of the court's time. Plaintiff and other journalists, okay, we'll define the other journalists, are not aware that any defendant Doe has taken any actual professional media training, education, or practice. Does not matter. And I'm saying this as someone who has a degree in journalism. It does not matter. And anyone can be a citizen journalist in this country. I get very frustrated. There were people on the what the hell side who were saying that about early on about what's her name? Not Shannon. I'm drawing a blank. Damn it, the journalist Shara Michelle. Yeah, there were people saying, "Well, she's not a journalist. She doesn't have training." It doesn't matter. Anyone can be a journalist. On information belief, defendant Fields does not have any formal media training, education, or practice. Does not matter. Luffman doesn't have any formal training, media, or practice. He's a journalist. I will say that. He is a journalist. Now, is he a good journalist? No. I will say that, and that is my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Defendant Fields has been identified online by Current Revolt in November 2024, publishing fake news. Again, it's that's someone else's opinion. Was she sued? If not, defendant is directly implicated in doxing at least 3 individuals: Tyler Smith, Jordan Bowen, Drew Anthony, both at his home and place of employment. In the home instance, the family received so many threats that they were compelled to move. Yeah, but you'd have to show that it's direct relation to her. In the work application, I am informed that individuals from the church attended by Jeff Metcalf conspired to test drive vehicles, prepare ostensibly real applications, then abandon them because finance director Drew Anthony was the father of a murderer. Mr. Anthony was compelled to resign his position. Okay, well, I don't see why that's being brought up. If Sarah lives in another state, she's not a part of that church. You have to show a link. And just because she may have a link to Jeff Metcalf and because he's at the church, like 1 + 1 does not equal 5. You got to show that there's a direct link. She broke the rules on the X platform and was permanently suspended. Well, I broke the rules on the X platform and I've gotten permanently suspended. It doesn't matter because the rules on X are not legal. They're not legal weight. I got suspended because I implied that Muslims were not really people. Perfectly legal thing to say. Perfectly legal for me to say it. I can criticize Islam. I can criticize Muslims. Do I have a right to an X account? No. And I lost an account, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. I also lost another account years ago because I told there was a porn star who was harassing people, and I sent her a picture of a railroad spike and asked her if she had ever inserted one before.
Those men wanted to have sex with me.
I understand that people do not like some of the things that others say. Just because you get suspended off Twitter does not mean you are legally responsible for anything. Right, Georgie? Even the government recognizes the new age journalism. Yes. If you have a phone and you can broadcast something, that is journalism. It is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Georgie. Next. Oh, here we go. This one I can already. I haven't read this whole sentence. We're going to get into it. I'm sure it's going to be good. Next, forensic science will reveal that defendant Fields published the true bill of the Anthony indictment on June 26th. The day before she even requested it, plaintiff shall inquire at her deposition as to how she was able to do this. What does it matter? What does it matter? If it's an indictment, it's public record. Whether she got it from the family, whether she got it from the prosecutor, whether she got it from a FOIA act, it's public record. It doesn't matter how or when she published it. Now, the people who gave it to her, they may face some ethical or policy or laws that they could be held to. But here's the thing: she's a journalist. She does not have to reveal her source. And you think a journalist would know this. So already I'm starting to think that this case is an attempt to find out who was feeding her information. And that my folks, is a First Amendment violation. We have a free press in this country. 23. Curiously, she also knew that the indictment was coming down next week. What does it matter? What does it matter? That could be speculation. It absolutely could. Like, I could be saying, well, we know in the Jeremy Hales case, we're going to get a decision next week. That's speculation. I don't know it for sure. I haven't talked to Judge Hinkle, but I could reasonably deduce that. I could deduce it from things that Jeremy said. I haven't listened to his update yesterday. He may have said that stuff. Grand jury proceedings are of sacrosanct. Okay, there's no viable explanation for defendant's clairvoyance except for a breach of the grand jury secrecy. Okay. If they used a grand jury, yes. And I would imagine that they did. There are ways to charge without a grand jury. But someone from the grand jury could have been telling her. And here's the thing. She has no obligation to tell anybody. And it's not illegal for her to talk about that. So if she didn't break the law, what does it matter? Defendant Fields is fond of bragging about her close ties to people in power, including Texas AG Ken Paxton. As noted in the appendices, she directly implies that she has him wrapped around her finger and that she is immune from any sanction. Well, I can tell you this. I know she worked to campaign against Governor Abbott, and she was very vocal about that. So while she may have ties to some people, she also has, I would say, enemies of people in power. Sorry, I'm smelling something. Moreover, defendant Fields used an attacking style with Drew Anthony to force him to disassociate from self-styled family advocate Dominique Alexander in a quid pro quo fashion. And she did this with specific intent to reduce criminal defense funds for a person who at the time was still a minor. Okay, well, guess what? That is not illegal. And it has nothing to do with you, Mr. King. Right? Right, Georgie? What I know about this case is crazy. Already, he's saying a lot of things that have nothing to do with him. Stephanie Ward, I think everyone was done with them. If they get any donations, it'll be little to none. Defendant Fields, let's hope so. My reporting on Dominique Anthony has reached millions on the X platform. I believe and hope it has slowed down the donations considerably. So yeah, on not Give, Send, Go, but on GoFundMe, you're not supposed to be raising money for anyone who is doing any type of legal defense of a crime. And we've seen that in a lot of different things, both on the left and the right. And for her to go after and try to stop donations, that's perfectly legal. And, she was very vocal about the donations were not being used for what they said. That's called embezzlement. So yeah, I would expect a journalist to want things to be done on the up and up. And here's the thing. Was Mr. King running this? I don't see where there's any damages here. I don't see where Mr. King is even involved. This vituperative tone, what does that mean? I've never seen that word before. I learned something new. So thank you. Harsh, scathing, and abusive language. Well, I don't see anything in this sentence that's harsh, scathing, or abusive. I just don't see it. I hope it slows down donations. You might not like it, but doesn't mean it's harsh, scathing, or abusive. I'll have to look up how to correctly pronounce vituperative. But I do notice, just like Luffman, a lot of these people have and same with Bubbles, they have a very high opinion of themselves and they use big words. Here's the thing, and I'm telling all of you guys this: left, right, doesn't matter. If you're watching today, don't use words that people don't know. Use very common language so people can understand what you're saying. Oh, we have a footnote here. Where was the footnote? The gold is always in the footnotes. I don't see. Okay, I don't see a footnote, but we'll get to it. This vituperative tone informs defendant Field's actions towards plaintiff as being grounded in outright animus, such as defendant Field's posture towards anyone who dares to encourage a fair trial and access to the judicial system granted by state and federal constitutions. Okay, so you're saying that she is trying to mislead and affect a jury. That is going to be incredibly hard of someone who is a journalist. And right here, this is not affecting the jury right here. So that's going to be a very big stretch. And the footnote where I don't see where they marked to the footnote, again, I'm going through it. Is it on this page? Oh, he did the footnotes wrong. He didn't put the footnotes at the bottom of that page. Okay. Additionally, as noted, plaintiff's emotional distress claims defendant has doubled down, continues to threaten doxing others as of yesterday's date. Again, it's not illegal. You can do it. Now, what you can't do is imply any type of hate, harassment, or encourage anyone to hurt somebody. I don't see where Sarah Fields has done any of that. So, I mean, again, his damages look to be very, very light. Defamatory statements. Defendant Fields is repeatedly taken to the airwaves to issue false commentary on plaintiff, including the notion that he and others engage in harassing behavior to the sitting judge on the Anthony case, causing him to resign prematurely. Appendix F. I mean, how do you know that's not her opinion? Despite King having shown online clips of him winning jury trials, Field states that the plaintiff is not an attorney. Well, that would be an easy one. Do you have a bar card? If you have a bar card, it doesn't matter if you've been involved in jury trials. Shara has been involved in jury trials. That doesn't make you an attorney. What makes you an attorney is that you are licensed to practice law. In fact, if I remember correctly, and I'm sure any attorneys watching are going to correct me, you can be a lawyer and not an attorney. Like, every attorney is a lawyer. Not every lawyer is an attorney. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Because you can be a lawyer in cases where a license is not required. For instance, arbitration. I could be wrong. This is an area that I've kind of heard and dealt with, but I'm not an expert on it. So if I'm wrong, please correct me. Don't be a dick about it, but yeah, please help me be correct in that. This is news to plaintiff. The problem for defendant is trifold. One, plaintiff King never harassed Judge Roach or any other judge for that matter. Okay. The entire premise was false and sloppy, as Judge Roach has not resigned. Fields did not produce any verifiable trail of support indicating any journalistic due diligence whatsoever. Appendix F. Plaintiff King has been attorney since 1993, and he will indeed be an attorney until the day he leaves this earth. Defendant's Fields' statements were made with the full knowledge of their falsity and actual malice that she manifests towards anyone who believes that Carmelo Anthony is innocent. So I can say that he is not an attorney. I could literally say that. I can say it's also my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. I can say Luffman's not an attorney anymore, and it's technically my opinion. It is not, even if I'm wrong, I have a right to be wrong. Okay. It doesn't make it defamatory. It doesn't make it malicious. You can be wrong. You can just be wrong. But you'd have to show that there's malice, and we're going to get into that. They say with actual malice. Okay, well, what's your proof of malice? And then what's your proof? Just saying that someone's not an attorney, well, that hurt my reputation. Okay, well, you need real damages. Real damages. 31. A Fields' accusation of harassment that she cultivated with does 1 through 99. Is he just claiming people on Twitter? Is that what he's doing? I wonder if I'm one of those. I've engaged with Sarah Fields on Twitter before. I wonder if I'm one of the 99. I could be involved in a case, people. Oh, I hope I am. I hope I am. Anti-slap suit. Hold the fuck on. I hope I am named as a doe. This, folks, we might be learning something about the skipper here. As he is taken as true, Plaintiff King will most assuredly not be able to re-enter the bar, as he has clearly stated that he is doing in 2026. So he is not a licensed attorney. He's not a licensed attorney and is doing it now. That means when she said it, she had a reasonable belief. Saying he's not an attorney means he's not a licensed attorney. So she is technically correct. So it's not defamation. Defamation, it has to be a reasonable person. It has to be wholly untrue. And a reasonable person would have to believe that what they're saying is true. Well, if you're not a licensed attorney and I say, yeah, he's not an attorney anymore, that is not defamation. I can say Luffman's not an attorney anymore. He's been disbarred. Lips is not an attorney. I can say that. Neither of them have a license. I am not defaming them. It's not defamation for me to say that. It is my opinion of a reading of the facts, a reasonable reading of the facts that a reasonable person could infer. Right? I told you guys this was going to be a doozy. I did not know all the facts of this, but this one could be a doozy. In a large part buoyed by the things he has seen in this case and his association with other attorneys he works with as research clerk who have encouraged him to return to practice. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. Right? He sounds like another Lips. Yeah. These horrible attorneys all, while they might not plagiarize each other, they do rhyme. Hey guys, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get me some more. I need some more coffee. I'll be right back. I'll leave the oh damn it. I hit the wrong one. So there we go. There's that. And yeah, I'll leave this up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me put us up. There we go. Go to my YouTube studio and put it in normal mode. Well, I'm streaming through Restream. Hold on. How do I put it in normal mode? Because I'm on Restream. Can I do? Hold on. Will Restream let me? Yep. Not while I'm live. Restream won't let me do it. Nope. I'm not seeing. Yeah, I have it in vertical, but it won't let me. Restream won't let me switch out of it. And I'm not exactly opposed to it being in vertical, because it will put me, and it is putting me in front of. That's why we have new people here, because every time you go in vertical, you end up in YouTube's different their different way of showing things. If you guys want me to zoom in on this, I can zoom in. if that's if you want me to do that. So there we go. So here we go. I'll go back to reading this. 32. Your backstage on studio has a setting on it. You'll have to let me know where. Because I'm in my studio and I've got the live up. I just don't see. I don't see it. Let me see if I edit that. Yep, not seeing anything for it. 32. This brings us to Defendant Field's public defamatory and otherwise hateful comments that indicate her statement to be completely reckless and issued. Why did you capitalize reckless? And issued with actual malice as a matter of law. So you can say hateful comments. The First Amendment protects hateful comments. And just because something's hateful, a comment is hateful, does not mean it's with malice, and it doesn't mean it's defamatory. I can say Walmart is a piece of shit. It's a hateful comment. It's not with malice, because it could be with malice means I will take action against them. Now, if I were to say burn down your local Walmart, not telling anyone to do that, but if I were to say that, that would be a malicious statement because I'm trying to have something done to them. Just saying I hate Walmart just means I hate Walmart. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to shop there. There you go. There's a difference. December 29th at 1:40, Sarah called KingCast sassy. KingCast is sassy and claims he's an attorney. He's not an attorney. Again, that is not that's not defamation. He didn't have a license. And saying someone's sassy. I'm sassy.
It's because we're a special combat unit with the United States Marine Corps. We've been tracking some Libyan terrorists. In fact, I think we've got them trailed to a bagel shop around the corner.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Welcome to the Sassy Show. Sassy coffee with the Sassy Skipper. We might have to rename the show. Oh, too funny. I need to pull up my one thing. Okay. I'm looking at what Georgie sent me. That's stream latency. That should only be affecting if that should only be affecting like how if it's on time and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm under stream settings. Yeah, it's blocked out for me. It's not letting me do anything with it. Okay. Stream health. Stream health is excellent. Shopping. Okay. Let me look in settings real quick. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Sorry, Georgie. I'm gonna have to check it. Hey, Charlie James. Good to see you here. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, Georgie. We'll figure this one out. I'm glad you got me this one. If we don't get any others for at least now, this is fine. After that, she kept going on, making it about herself, saying KingCast is not a journalist, and made panelists read court documents about KingCast. It's not illegal. At 34:40, Sarah stating it's always about race with KingCast. Okay, again, not illegal. In point of fact, defendant has accused an entire body of work by plaintiff that distinctly shows otherwise, including his work with Tea Party as keynote speaker for starters. Again, this is not a defamatory statement. This is an opinion. And people can have opinions, even ones you disagree with. At 1701, Sarah, speaking of KingCast, you're not an attorney, you're a crappy attorney and a crappy journalist. Again, those are all opinions. I can say that about Lips, and I can say that about Luffman. I've said it about Shar in the past, and I've apologized to Shar. And there was a reason, because like what Shar was saying at the time, I had issues with. But yeah, I can say all these things. I can say that Volpe is a shitty journalist. I've talked with Megan about her work with Volpe. It's perfectly fine for me to say that. Right, Georgie? At 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds, Sarah stating that people surrounding themselves around Tiffany are dangerous people. Again, it's an opinion. Will your new show be called Sassy and Bradshaw? Sassy Court. Sassy. Oh.
And as for your case, don't you worry. I've argued in front of every judge in the state, often as a lawyer.
So we are 8 pages into this, and I can tell you it already looks frivolous for right now.
Sue everybody.
The claims of plaintiff not being an attorney and being dangerous as known associate of Tiffany Billions, that was who TB is, are both patently false and were issued out with outright malice and were calculated to bring scorn and ridicule from defendant's Field's viewer base. That's legal. I can tell people, give them scorn and ridicule, make fun of them. That is protected. Mock them. I say that all the time to you guys. Mock them. Like, because they people have a hard time being mocked, and they do shit like this, which reaches millions on the X platform. She has 500,000 followers. Okay. Are you talking about the impressions on her thing? Because that's kind of flimsy, but okay. As defendant noted in Appendix D, she directed attacks on fundraising for a minor facing first-degree murder charge. That is legal. Perfectly legal. And it's not defamation. So up here, he actually does do the right type of footnote. To be clear, plaintiff sustained a 1-year suspension from some 20 years ago. He is paying his fines, and several accomplished national attorneys writing support letters on his behalf. Even had plaintiff been indefinitely suspended or disbarred, which he is not, it would still be an attorney. No one, but particularly Sarah Fields, is going to denigrate plaintiff in this manner or lessen his achievements. It is clear, but is an example of feckless and or mean-spirited journalism practiced by defendants Fields. You can be feckless and mean-spirited. It's not wrong, and it's not illegal. And the fact that you are not a licensed attorney means she's pretty much right. Remember what I always tell you guys, the truth in a defamation case, the truth is the best defense. No, is absolutely true. Or that was my opinion. Those are absolute defenses. And when people are using those defenses, they normally end up coming out on top. This type of willful misconduct by Fields is reminiscent of the type of manipulated behaviors that defendant Fields highlighted in a rather lengthy public Facebook page, detailing her years of drug abuse and manipulation and theft as her life slid into a black abyss involving CPS, at least one abandoned child, and sexual abuse of at least one child for years. Plaintiffs will err on the side of gentility and not produce the post, but has all of it. Okay, I do know what he's talking about. Sarah talked about how in her, she had people call CPS on her, and it was unfounded. And it was people trying to affect her life, and it was unfounded. In fact, I believe it was an abuse of X. And guess what? Trying to like trying to use that in a posting, that actually is malicious and potentially defaming. King has a whole whopping 640 followers on TikTok. Yeah, he's like screaming out, like he wasn't getting any traction. So this is what he's doing for attention now. In a point of fact, there's not one scintilla of evidence anywhere in Plaintiff King's history that substantiates the notion that he is dangerous. And he has now twice successfully sued angry, nasty white people. Interesting that you'd put white people. Okay. Who made these bogus assertions against his character. Remember when she said it was all about race with him? And here you are invoking race? Okay. You're kind of proving her correct. He will do it each and every time it happens because they need to learn a lesson. So you're not doing this because you were you're not doing this because you were defamed and damaged. You need to teach people a lesson. I would not have put this in this filing. Sarah's 55,000 followers on TikTok. Yes, she does. Yeah. Wow. I would never have put this. This like right here goes like this is her main defense. If I were Sarah, I'd put this in a motion to dismiss. In fact, ironically, if anyone is dangerous, it would be Sarah. It would be Fields' ex-boyfriend, a dirty cop who is a dirty cop who is doing time on 2 molestation accounts against her children during a time at which Fields herself abandoned those children, according to court documents stipulated by Fields and her attorney. No, she didn't abandon them. CPS was called, if I remember correctly, by her ex, who was abusive, and she was doing everything she can for her children. I heard her talk about that, and the fact that this has nothing to do with this case, and the fact that it's being brought up. This is like Luffman bringing up Jeremy's divorce. It's zero relevance, and this would actually be considered malicious. Conversely, plaintiff at 60 years of age has not one single criminal item on his entire background. In fact, any professional journalist could discover with one phone call to a registered PI and a couple $100, plaintiff is aware of this because his PI, Adam Wilquist, runs these reports for him on regular occasion. You need a PI to know that you've never been charged criminally. I can tell you, while I technically have been charged, the charges were always dropped. The last one, if you guys saw where my ex-wife's boyfriend attacked me in a parking lot, we mutually charged each other, and all the charges on that were dropped against both parties. I did not want his charges dropped, but the San Bernardino prosecutor felt otherwise. And, that's because I've been attacked twice on camera, and you can watch them both on YouTube. And neither time did they want, and the one is on this channel. You could go into my my playlist of service dog harassment and see me being attacked completely unjustly. They threw the first punches. And why were those people? Why were the charges dropped? But I'll tell you this: I've never been convicted of anything, and no charge against me has ever gone to trial. In fact, those are the only times I've ever been charged, and it was a civilian charge. So there you go. The Wilquist family worked on the Amanda Knox case. Who cares? Adam Wilquist hung a shingle himself approximately 4 years ago. What? What does this mean? Adam Wilquist hung a shingle himself approximately 4 years ago. I don't get it. I do not get this, people. Wow. Not to be outdone, she then references plaintiff and others as thugs. That's a matter of opinion. And states that Judge Roach, who has faced ethics sanctions for engaging in for-profit business with his wife, who, based on information and belief, was Jet Metcalf's divorce attorney. So, based on information and belief, so you don't know that for sure? I would make sure I'm sure about that before you start putting it into court filings, but you do you, boo. You do you. Is fair and will not be intimidated by thugs. Okay. What's wrong with that statement? Her saying that the judge is fair and will not be intimidated by thugs. What's wrong with that statement? So he's faced ethics sanctions before? Okay, well, she has a right to her opinion. You have a right to your opinion. You can say he's a piece of shit. You can call him a thug. You can call her a thug. That's legal. So now plaintiff is not even an attorney. He's a mere thug. Oh my God. This is just him whining. 10 pages in, all he's doing is she's calling me names and saying not nice things to me. Give me $76,000.
Are you really retarded?
Again.
I plead the fifth.
My dear Lord. Fields has also referred to plaintiff as a targeting activist. Again, this is an opinion. I would say this is actually a learned opinion because, as he said, he's worked with Tea Party and he's done advocacy in other cases rather than as a journalist. It's a matter of opinion there, but I think it's actually not an incorrect one. Plaintiff submits that he is reporting on the actions of a targeting activist himself. You could say she's a targeting activist. That's fair. And that much is obvious from Record C. Again, these are not crimes. She's hurting my fifis.
No.
He's like, she called me a targeting activist.
Right to jail. Right to jail. Right away.
This is the plaintiff, Christopher King, called a targeting activist. Don't take the law into your own hands. You take him to court. That's the problem, Doug Llewellyn. You encourage so many people to bring frivolous lawsuits. I'm putting all this on Doug Llewellyn.
Hoo-ah!
Defendant Fields joined 3 podcasters of unknown journalistic backgrounds. Regular people can have a podcast. They can 100% have a podcast. What is the problem with them having a podcast? You don't need to be a journalist to have a podcast. What the hell is your problem? I'm sending this to someone. Oh, come on. Where are you? Am I in the wrong? I might be in the wrong thing here. Let me. No, I was in the right one. I hate when Facebook thinks it knows better than you. Why is this not? Oh my God. Come on. Copy link. There we go. There we go. Oh, George has got his TikTok up. I love it. I love it. Oh, no worries, wise angel. The time they would have been better off using AI. At least it would not talk about teaching nasty white people a lesson, right? It, but you know what, Cinder? It actually could, because if it all depends on what you put into AI. You got to remember, AI doesn't think, so it will do some of that stuff if you teach it to. So if you're racist or you have racial tendencies that you put into AI, it will spit those out to you. So, podcasters of unknown journalistic backgrounds to decry the petition for transparency authored by plaintiff. During the show, Fields and her cohorts panned the petition and ridiculed plaintiff, but never engaged in any actual analysis of it. Again, that's your opinion. I am panning your thing so far. I'm hopefully I'll find something in here of redemption, but so far your pleading freaking stinks, dude. And yes, I am ridiculing it because it is my opinion and I have the right to, just like these podcasters of unknown journalistic origin have a right to. I have a degree of journalism from Eastern Michigan University. Add me to your fucking thing. Yeah, investigating the strange death of investigative journalism by Apostate Radio, episode 39. I'll have to check out that podcast, Apostate Radio. This is the link. Any of the guys have a link to that, please put it in the chat. 41. None of these podcasters are interesting in establishing even a hint of fair reporting, as evidence as one of them lives in New England near plaintiff's family in the same exact neighborhood, to be precise. What does that got to do with anything? They don't have to give fair reporting. It's a podcast. I don't give fair reporting. I'll try to be fair sometimes, but not always. It's up to me. This is my show. This is my editorial. I'm sorry, I got a couple cars. A couple cars up my road, which is unusual. Plaintiff reached out to said podcaster and told him that he would personally fly out there from his home in Western Washington to visit his family and buy the podcaster lunch and discuss the case. But the podcaster ignored him. He's allowed to. This is because the master plan all along was to provide damage control for defendant Fields. Okay. And it's not illegal. They can talk shit about you, dude. Moreover, plaintiff on information belief knows that Fields and her minions are actively attempting to make a change.org remove the petition from its pages, behavior consistent with defendant's actions. That's not illegal either. Again, you don't have a right to social media. You don't have a right to change.org. You don't have a right to GoFundMe. If you are breaking terms of service, people have a right to say things about that. Trust me. You don't think I get YouTube complaints? I had a lawyer, I had Bubbles he was writing letters to YouTube Legal. Now, what he should have been doing was just, if he had a problem with what I was doing, reporting it via the normal channels, but he wasn't going to be successful. So he started writing as an attorney to YouTube Legal to try to get this channel taken down. And you're doing the same thing via this lawsuit. 43, perhaps unbeknownst to plaintiff, who takes the victim as she finds him. Okay. Defendant has been previously accused of dangerous and violent activity for no lawful reason, including but not limited to the aforementioned defamation lawsuits where white people lied and said he was dangerous and had issued death threats. So saith the white people. Again, where you said she said that you view everything through race, you're proving her point, dude. And again, none of this that you're saying here is illegal. I don't see maliciousness. I don't even see defamation. In the dangerous case, the American Tower situation, again, this is a totally different case, has no bearing on this case. Plaintiff was indeed lobbying for the rights of his largely white trainees to receive better working conditions and overtime pay. So, hold on. So you are a targeting activist. The thing you just a page ago said that you weren't. So you are a targeting activist. Own it, dude. Just own it. Don't get mad and file lawsuits. Just say, yeah, okay. A position vindicated by a $290,000 fine by the U.S. Department of Wage and Labor because of plaintiff's whistleblowing. Apparently, he is dangerous for an intelligent black man. An intelligent black man in America to do these things. Again, you're talking so much about race. Yeah, it seems like you are focused on race. Plaintiff did not receive that memo, and if he did, threw it in the trash where it belongs, right next to the defendant Fields' reporting. She doesn't have to report on all this stuff, dude. 44. There was another time not involving defamation. So why is it relevant? Why is it in this filing? If it's not involving defamation in your defamation lawsuit, why the hell is it not in here? You're talking things that have nothing to do with this.
I got a tree on my house.
Like, he's going after multiple creators on TikTok. That doesn't surprise me. This is a guy who he's a hammer. Everything he looks at is a nail. But similar theme was involved when his last dog was killed in a negligent kennel, where the white female kennel owner lied and said the plaintiff and his partner had not paid her. Why does race matter? And why is this being brought up? Irrelevant to bailment theory anyway. Okay. Are you trying to give case law? And that he was stalking her. This is a complete lie, and the TRO was summarily reversed after plaintiff appeared in court. So there was a TRO, okay. It was reversed, okay. Plaintiff and Washington animal lawyer Adam Karp then secured one of the highest settlements in Washington history for a domestic dog. Okay. I don't even see where she brought this up. If she brought this up, maybe it would have some relevance. I don't even see, like, it doesn't seem that you're just saying things happened. Okay. You want to talk about failure to state a claim? This lawsuit so far is failure to state a claim. Plaintiff, again holding zero criminal record whatsoever in 60 years on this planet, remains deeply hurt, deeply hurt by repeated attempts of white people. Oh, what am I doing? Freaking idiot. Because where's my little thing? Here we go. I get to bring back the racism gong. So every time we have racism, I'm going to keep this right here nearby. And every time we get something invoking race, we're going to hit the racism gong. Christ is king. That is true. Right? It's not a race thing until he's invoking race. Plaintiff, again holding zero criminal record whatsoever in 60 years on this planet, how many times do you have to say it, remains deeply hurt by repeated attempts of white people, like plaintiff, trying to criminalize an intelligent, hardworking black man who has differing and typically legal viewpoint. Okay, well, you have an opinion. Maybe you're legally correct, maybe you're not. Doesn't really matter. Hard to tab out to make me. Plaintiff is a high-end wireless consultant deal. So are you a lawyer? Or are you a lawyer? Are you a journalist? Now you're a wireless consultant. Maybe that's what I should be. A wireless consultant. Am I helping you build a wireless network? Dealing daily with FCC regulatory matters and land contracts involving law enforcement and municipalities. What? This dude has a very, very high opinion of himself.
It's high. It's very high.
He simply cannot afford for anyone to catch wind of him being a lawless individual, which he is not. He is not. As a result of these actions,
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
as a result of these actions implying outright criminality and otherwise defamatory statements, plaintiff is concerned that he has lost sleep, experienced flashbacks, has headaches, and difficulty concentrating because of the stress, and has sought emotional counseling and will be in such counseling until this latest wound from white racism what has healed. We hit a racism gong when we see a racism. This is bad as lips screaming. People, evil people with Chris. It's people, white people, right? This is ridiculous. This thing is getting fun, though. I will say that. We need to heal this white racism. Do I have anything?
No! Hey, where are the white women at?
I think that's the most racist thing I have on my soundboard.
Let the hate flow through you.
This will take some time owing to a physical manifestation resulting from this abuse, as will be discussed in Discovery. I don't think this thing is getting to Discovery. It is noteworthy that numerous conversations were had online by way of warnings that this case was coming. Okay. Defendant can be heard ruminating about this matter in her online discussions on multiple occasions. Okay. So they talked about a case that was coming up. What is the problem? You brought the case. What's the problem? Moreover, counsel for defendant was told of it. Oh no. Were they told of it?
That's probably because he wasn't sick. He was skipping school.
It triggers me.
And responded by telling plaintiff to F off and listen, racist bastard. You may want to read Texas Penal Code 4207 before you go any further. I've already made clear to your racist F-tard ass to stop contacting me. File all the BS complaints you want, but stop contacting me. If you want a court battle, I'll see you in court. Until then, F all the way off and stop contacting me, bitch.
No, bitch!
Oh my God. Like, what is wrong with that? She's telling you, put up or shut up. And you are so upset about it. You're
It makes me upset.
This is just, my feelings are hurt. 49, this case arrives at court pursuant to such directive. Why does that need to be pointed out here? This is useless. For 50, for his part, counsel for defendant, one proud boy, CJ Grisham, has refused to provide a copy of a related lawsuit he filed for defendant against Tiffany McAdoo, Drew Anthony, and another. Simply post their side of allegations as a journalist. Okay, if he is a counsel, okay, and he's filed lawsuits against your right arm might be sore before this is over, Skipper. Harry, you are absolutely correct. Yeah, just because he filed a lawsuit doesn't mean he has to give you a copy of it. If you're not a party to the lawsuit, why don't you contact Tiffany or Drew? Get a copy of it from them. Simply to post their side of the allegations as a journalist. Do a FOIA request, loser. Jesus.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
He then refused to answer for a week about whether he would accept service of process for this suit and emitted a number of F off and bitch comments similar to his activity in public venues where he has been ejected by security for his unruly and churlish behavior.
No, bitch!
Like, okay, none of that matters. He doesn't have to sit with you. He doesn't have to give you anything. And it doesn't matter if he was ejected from places for security. And I'll tell you, he's in the party. He's a party leader. That's why I've discussed with him. I've had discussions with him about things within his county, a case in his county, and then we also talked about things happening within the county. So none of that has anything to do with this. Get ready, everyone. On information and belief, Attorney Grisham counseled his client that 42 U.S. Code 1985 does not apply to private individuals. It doesn't? When in fact the statute was generated as the Ku Klux Klan Act and was specifically designed to address private individuals. If you are, it does not apply to private individuals, but if private individuals are using the government, then it could apply because it's about loss of civil rights. Additionally, again, I don't know if Texas has anti-SLAPP. Let's take a look. Does Texas have anti-SLAPP laws? Yes, Texas does have anti-SLAPP laws. So I would say it would be more appropriate for anti-SLAPP. But and wanting an attorney counseled his client. Yeah, that's what an attorney does. If you're saying she didn't know that she couldn't use this one, but she's got to use another one, like that's what attorneys do. They give legal advice. What does it have to do with this? 52. A copy of the police report noting that this misconduct is part of a group bar complaint on this individual that was filed this week. Okay, so they put a bar complaint on you. Again, something that they can legally do. In response to these complaints, Grisham issued yet another bagful of F-bombs and baseless accusations that the complaining parties are racist. Here we go. So again, they're allowed to do that. Grisham also stated that the litigation is effing racist. Racism gonna get much use. Jury demand. Okay, finally we're getting somewhere. Now comes plaintiff to demand this cause be heard by and through a duly impaneled jury of appropriate size and composition. If it goes to trial, I don't think you're getting a jury. Pay prayer for relief. Yes, Texas has an anti-SLAPP law known as the Texas Citizens Participation Act. If I were Sarah, I would absolutely use that against the defendant because pretty much he's just trying to silence her. I don't see anything defamatory. I don't see anything malicious, and I don't see any damages on its face. Saying that he has no real damages. I have emotional distress. Okay, put your phone away. But have you lost any money? Has your property been injured? No, then you have no real damages. Did they hurt your business? No. Plaintiff seeks judgment against defendant as follows: declaratory judgment, injunctive relief, prejudgment interest on liquidated sums, for cost of suit, for pre and post judgment interest, a public apology. Why do people always want a public apology? I'll tell you this: I've had people offer me, "Hey, if I apologize to you, can we stream together again? Can we put our beef?" And I'm like, look, just because we've had beef, I'm probably not going to work with you again. That's just, it's neither here nor there. But if it's just to quash a beef, I've had people be like, "Oh, if they apologize to you, will you quash a beef?" Look, I can forgive. I'm never going to forget. And I do not need a public apology from anyone, because here's the thing. Most apologies, especially public ones, are insincere. You can shove your apology up your ass. Leave me alone is most times what I'll say in cases where, people think, well, if they apologize to you, will you? I don't want their fucking apology. Like, it's stupid. People who want apologies or are normally very, very small people, I'll say. Me, uh, save your apology, just leave me the hell alone. That's what I always say. You want to apologize to me? Stay the fuck away from me. Okay, Canyon. If he lives in Washington, why did he He lives in Texas, she lives in Washington. That's why. And that's why that he filed a federal lawsuit. I believe she's doing a lawsuit in Texas, though. Leave Canyon alone. If they're gonna just put some crazy comments, let them put some crazy comments. It's just, all it's gonna do is promote this video. Well, Canyon, you do have to follow the rules of our chat, and the rule of our chat is no attacking people. So just follow those rules and you'll be fine. And no, this is not a public forum, and this is not, you don't have freedom of speech. You do have to follow YouTube terms of service and the chat rules. I make them. The mods enforce them. So yeah, you don't have free speech here. So I'm gonna quash that right now. You don't have free speech. Robert Duvall died. That is a shame. I was just thinking about him yesterday, and I was like, he's in his 90s. He was making movies up until a couple years ago. Very sad. Good actor. Well, you can talk about poop all you want. I really don't care. Um, just don't clog up the chat, and definitely don't attack anybody. And yeah. He wants public apology, compensatory damages, and an amount to exceed 76,000. How do you get to that number on emotional damages? That would be very hard to do. The best I think he could probably say is he had to pay a doctor or a therapist. He was 95. I'm not surprised, but he was very active. That's so many people. My father-in-law, he retired and just had nothing planned and just sat around and was dead within 6 months. You got to stay active, people. I'm not saying you have to. Um, Canyon took 95 poops yesterday. Hey, congratulations, Canyon. 95 poops. Congratulations. So, yeah, I wonder how he got to this. Punitive damages, an amount to be determined. Good luck with that. I haven't seen any damages at all, let alone any that can be put into dollar amounts. For such other and further relief as the court may deem proper. So there we go. He put his journalism degree. Oh no, that's a commendation. Okay. What? So he's putting memes of the First Amendment. Oh, that's okay. That's none of this evidence has anything to do. Oh my god. I gotta find out if I'm one of the John Does. Because if he just put people, what does this got to do with it? So she messaged her. I just got suspended without pay because pending this, because I looked up the case where I had no business. Maybe it could be against policy. I don't know. But she said suspended, right? Yeah, suspended. So she wasn't fired. He said she was removed. Looking up a case that I'm okay with. Like I look up cases all the time. Now, if you're doing something with that information, that could be a problem. Is this her case? Yeah, okay. So she filed in oh, this is the family court case. Again, this has nothing to do with this case. Yeah, this is 2014. Oh my God, nothing to do with this case. Putting her TikTok. I'm wondering if I'm one of the John Does. Okay. Okay. So, like a lot of this stuff, he's just complaining about it. She got information. She probably knows someone in the court. As we saw, she messages with people in the court. Maybe she found out about something. She didn't do anything wrong by finding things out. Austin Metcalf. Yeah, that was his name. Hunter and Austin Metcalf. That's their names, the twins. Austin's the one that's dead. Huh? Who's Texas 2A? Oh, that I bet you this is he's saying this is Grisham. People can tell you to fuck off. It's not illegal. So I'm going to say that this is a frivolous lawsuit. She's threatening another person. She said, dox this agent, and I'm going to make your life a living nightmare. Yeah. Yeah. And guess what? Krasenstein did dox that agent. And she then posted, oh, you want to post other people's addresses? She posted Brian Krasenstein. Did exactly what he did. That's not a threat. If it is a threat, then he threatened that ICE agent. Putting other cases in here. This is just ridiculous. That's it. So this is one of the most frivolous things I think I have ever seen in a federal court. That is interesting. So I'm going to keep up on this one. I don't know. Maybe Sarah or CJ will reach out to me and we'll be able to talk about this. I understand if they don't want to. On YouTube, he's got 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, so he's not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, we got to find out if I'm one of the John Does. Because I have interacted with Sarah before. John Does 1 through 99. So, Georgie, you and I, we got some things to look at. Okay. I feel like all the context is going to have the opposite effect from what they want. More easily see that it's revenge thing with no merit. Yeah, if I were her, I would absolutely file a anti-slap motion. Let him have to define where prove the maliciousness and prove the damages. Because if not, this case is getting dismissed. And if she does anti-slap, she can get an immediate summary judgment of damages in her favor. So these are the type of cases I have the most experience with is defamation, just because it has my attention. And I just know a little bit about them because I took a class journalism in the law, and that's where I started really paying attention to things like copyright, trademark, defamation. I went through all those back in class, and I had a very liberal professor for that class, and he was a guy I actually have a lot of respect for him. He lived in Detroit for many, many years. He was a part of the civil rights movement when he was a young man, and I believe still to this day publishes like a local Detroit civil rights paper in his spare time. But he was willing to listen to other opinions and have discussions, and I just found that case, or I found that class fascinating. And, I really enjoyed him as a professor, even though I would say a lot of things we didn't see eye to eye on. But when we did agree, we agreed like wholeheartedly. And that was a lot of things on civil rights, and what should and should not be allowed. So, all right, guys, I think I've gone long enough. We're almost exactly at 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'll be back tomorrow. I do have a video scheduled for tomorrow of a homeless woman who is a widowed spouse of a veteran who definitely needs some help. So if you guys can watch tomorrow's video, and the big thing is we need to find this woman a lawyer. Her identity was stolen. She needs help. So if anyone knows a lawyer, preferably in Southern California, that would be willing to help her, we want to help this woman out. So thank you. Check out that video tomorrow. I might not be doing a coffee with the skipper tomorrow. That video might go out in place of it. But thank you so much for being here. We're gonna stay on this case. This one's gonna be a doozy. So thank you so much. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. The front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awaking to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awaking to lighten her load. America's awaking to lighten her load.